Welcome to Chowder Podcast, everybody. Episode number 5. I am Brand Guy.
I'm Jay Guy, and we have a special guest today.
Zach Courchesne, everybody.
Hey!
Wait. I think you were supposed.
Oh,
all right.
yeah,
We're here. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I think you were supposed to come in, and I was supposed to.
Next time.
Yeah, we'll get it next time. We'll get it next time.
We'll get it right.
All right, everybody, welcome back. What's going on? We figured we'd get goofy with you, like we always do here at Chowder. Gonna be feeding you the scoop on a few bands, but that's gonna be later on in the podcast. So for right now, I have my special friend. I have my special friend. I have my good friend and special guest on the show today, Zach Courchesne. How's it going, bro?
Good.
Good.
Been a long week.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes. And then now we can unwind and have some fun. We just spent like an hour and 20 minutes literally going back in time listening to old stuff that we recorded in old bands that we jammed together when we were like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that,
Well,
how did you meet me first?
how did I meet you? I met you, I don't remember like the exact day I met you, but it was probably like on the bus. You were dating my sister.
That is true.
And we had a mean bus driver, but that's all right.
She liked me for some reason.
She had a good heart. Yeah, you were probably getting off the bus at my house. Fast forward though.
Yeah.
You weren't dating my sister.
No, we had moved to Bangor, and then I moved back. Zach was like, "Hey, you still play the drums, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You want to jam in a band with me and a couple buddies?" And so I was like, "Yeah." So I ended up, what did it start at Isaac's house first?
It started at Isaac Eli's house. A bunch of us got up there, and then Jared DeRochers came up to me and he said, "Hey, you buy a bass guitar, you're in the band."
Literally.
seems like you're always looking for a good
I remember,
bass guitar.
Well, because I remember the conversation because you and I had gone back to your house and we were chilling, and your dad had come home and you were like, "So, Dad, I want to join the band." And I remember him being like, "All right," and you're like, "But I need a bass first," or something like that. And
it's like, all right,
literally, all right, and we're like, "Really? That easily?"
He was all for it.
Yeah, for it.
We went out, we bought a used LTD bass that had some nice EMG active pickups on it, and then we bought a nice 200-watt bass amp that could lean back monitor style, and I was ready to go.
I don't remember.
Shortly after Isaac's, we went right on over to our house, and my dad had built a band room for us, and it never got done. But like,
as band rooms should be.
Yeah.
it was hot in the summer and cold in the winter.
Yeah, there was no heat.
We had a propane heater that would like Jared would huddle around all the heaters because he would always get the coldest.
Yeah.
I guess like in that band, you want to say who was in it?
All right, yeah. So it was Zach on the bass, Isaac was on guitar, Jared was on guitar too. They kind of like switched back and forth with lead and stuff like that. And then our buddy Cody, I almost said Anderson, not Anderson. Our buddy Cody Barrett was on the drums, and I was singing, and I wasn't very good at it. I was good at screaming though, which was cool.
I don't think none of us were that good at anything at that age. I think we were just trying to get better.
Yeah, I must have blown my voice out like 4 times in that band.
It was definitely the funnest or the most fun band as far as like gaining experience like during that time,
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like we all did it together and we learned together and we learned how to use like I don't know, like we learned how to record songs together and do stuff like that, stuff we just didn't know how to do beforehand.
Build song structure and
yeah. We definitely had, I think in that band we had a very basic formula to how we did our songs, but they were all like the same. They were like, all right, verse, chorus, verse, bridge,
intro, outro.
But I mean, we know from experience, and you guys too, that basic sounds good.
Yeah, it does. If you can make it sound full, it'll sound good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. at the time we were all learning at the same time, so we all kind of complemented each other's growth.
Yeah.
Because we didn't take it super, super serious, but we also did take it a little bit serious. Like, just enough to write songs and actually kind of be serious about it, but, like, at the same time, just not enough so we could have fun and just be goofy every time.
I definitely feel like there was a very serious element to it, in the sense of, like, you need to be serious to get better.
Well, yeah.
But, like, which I'm just, like, 100% agree with you. And then, like, I also think that we were all, like you're saying, very silly and goofy, and, like, those were some of the, like, the most funnest or times up there, because we would make music that we didn't know that we were going to make, and we'd accidentally make something, and then we'd be like, oh, that actually sounds pretty good. And
like the improvs.
Yeah.
So there's a couple songs that me on, obviously I'm singing, he's on the bass and Cody's on the drums, and it was just us three. It was the Yachty Yachty song or whatever. But I scream in it, and they didn't know I was gonna do it, and it came together. It was like
surprising to us.
It was kind of something we did after like a while for like a warm up thing. I feel like we did it a bunch of times.
We always liked Jay's screaming.
I was pretty good at it,
and we would try to get him to do that as much as possible, but he didn't always like to do it because it would hurt his voice.
Yeah, like I said, I blew out my voice like 4 times, I want to say, like, and it would take like a month to get it back, and it's like talking like this the whole time. Hey guys, I can come to practice, but I'll just be chilling on the side.
Or you can get real
I would
personal.
say the end goal of that band was to play a show. We did a talent show at our local high school, and that was like the biggest deal to us in the whole world, like our first show.
Was that the biggest show you guys ever played?
I remember
To this day.
it was, yeah. Like it felt like
It
there was
definitely
that many people
felt
there.
like
But
that.
there was maybe like 50 people there, mostly parents.
But it was great. We made our own flyer. Our drummer Cody Berry was very talented.
Yeah.
At the time, he made a flyer. We posted it all around school. Levitt's Got Talent. It was like $5 admission, and then I don't know. I think it went to like just like the arts program in general. So it was actually a pretty good cause. And yeah, no, that was awesome. And then it seemed like as quickly as the band started and got our first gig, like that was like it. Like sort of we made our goal, and the band sort of broke up, but the bands always stayed sort of the same with similar people, I guess.
Yeah. So I remember after we played the talent show. Oh, and well, actually during the talent show, remember when, who was it? Someone knocked over the light, and I like dove and still missed it. We did like
I don't remember. Those lights were always falling over. We had some real rickety lights back in the day.
Well, somebody's guitar guitar cable was like wrapped underneath it, and they pulled it tight, and it just like knocked it over, and I saw it, and I like ran for it and tried to dive. Well, I did dive, but I tried to catch it, and I missed. It still broke.
Action movie style.
Legit, yeah. But we ended up playing the show, and then after the show, you know, other acts went up, and we were all sitting in the crowd. And do you remember this? Somebody didn't know that I was a singer because I had like changed my clothes and stuff, and
no, I don't.
They were like, "Dude, you guys sounded sick. Your singer sucks, though." Like right to my face, and I was like, "Yeah, I know. We need to get a new singer." And the guy was like, "No, for real." And then I was like, "I am the singer," and he's like, "Oh, are you really, dude? Oh, I was just kidding." I'm like, "No, you're good. Trust me, I don't think I'm good. I like to scream. That was it." And I couldn't scream during the show. Remember?
I don't.
For
but
some
I'm
reason,
not surprised.
I don't remember why, but for some reason she said no screaming. Was it Mrs. Appleby?
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Well,
said no
boo
screaming.
to you, Mrs. Appleby.
No swearing, no screaming, blah blah. And I'm like,
there goes our set.
yeah, legit.
She was a great music teacher. It was just probably a school policy.
I will say this: the only song that came out good, and I think that I was decent at singing, was 1985.
1985.
I had a recording of that somewhere.
Yeah, we had a pretty mean cover of 1985.
It was pretty dope.
That's what I think that band sounded the best with, like that style of music.
Like the punky type deal.
Yeah.
The punky, whiny voice, basically.
But as I said, like then that band ended, and then we started a band called The Seventh Day, we were really good with coming up with names, as you can tell.
Yeah. Well, before that band ended, it was when we were at Isaac's house. We were called like Forgotten Destiny. I'm pretty sure that's what it was at Isaac's house.
I don't know.
And then we moved.
Could have been before me.
We moved to your dad's house. No, you were in the band. You were newly in the band. You were still learning how to play.
Okay.
So you like didn't know how to play anything, and me and Jared were like, "We'll teach you," and I didn't even know how to play anything. But I was like, "We'll teach you. We'll do it." Anyways, we moved to his dad's, the place that he built for us, basically, and we had changed the name to Safe to Say. I'm trying to remember who came up with that. It came up in a conversation that somebody had, and I'm pretty sure Jared was like, "Oh, well, what about that name you suggested, or name someone suggested?" And it was Safe to Say. I don't remember who suggested it, but it was a big thing back then. We'll just say that. Anyways, we were basically underneath that title for the rest of the band's Safe to Say days, and then we split up. I want to say I took a job that allowed me to not have weekends or something like that. And I remember I couldn't do it anymore. But then once I like got my schedule down, I ended up being the drummer because Cody ended up not coming back.
Right.
And then Isaac somehow left the band, and then Rob came in and replaced him, and we changed the name to The Seventh Day.
I don't remember what Isaac was doing. But I know that, like...
He didn't have to. I think it was like
he was very
sports or
committed
something.
to Safe to Say, and then he had to quit skiing for it. And then after that, I just think that he had some just life obligations that made it difficult.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know what I mean? But
no one left on bad terms.
no, yeah, no. Wow.
Just life happens.
Besides, we let Jared go that one time.
Yeah, well, that was...
Sorry, Jared.
We're getting to there. We're getting to there. Jared, you're going to laugh at this, and you're going to love this. We're getting to there. So, we didn't have a singer for a while, and I don't think we even had a name at the time. It ended up being The Seventh Day, which we kind of all rambled up somehow.
Yeah.
We had our friend Mary join the band, and we ended up writing one original called, like, Shake It Up, I think it was.
I think that it started because Jared and, like, I had the music space, but Jared and Rob wanted to... Jared's always wanted to... It's always been another band. You know?
That's always been a thing.
But Jared, we wanted to be in another band, so of course, like, he talks to me, and then I think then, like, of course, we're like, Jay's our drummer. So we talked to Jason. But I think after that, it was like, oh, we need to find a singer. And either Mary or Rob, I don't remember which, and I think the connection was through, like, an art class maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I could be completely wrong.
I mean, either way.
Audience viewers. But I think that's similar to how it happened, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're right. One of them dragged each other in.
Because you were at your
Something like
mom's
that.
at the time.
Yeah, and you and Matt would come pick me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt and John, we would hang out with us.
John too.
They'd
in his,
play
in his
chess
Passat.
and stuff.
Yeah.
His Passat.
Well, actually, John ended up joining the band later, and he was the pianist.
Oh, yeah? Jared and Rob, so guitarist and guitarist, for those who need help following. They were arguing about something. Probably something minuscule and not very important because we were all in high school. And
Normal high school stuff.
Untuned Rob's guitar, and it has a Floyd Rose on it. If you're familiar with those tuning systems, they're not fun to retune up. So we decided, because he messed with somebody's equipment, which he's never done again, to my knowledge.
No, I don't think he has.
We let him go out of the band for a little while, but I mean, like, he would always come back. You can't get rid of Jared.
I remember I was at my mom's house, and then you guys called me. I think you, Cody, and Mary were hanging out.
Probably.
And then I remember you being like, we want to fire Jared, but we want you to do it. I'm like, why me? And I was like, fine, I'll do it. And I had the conversation with Jared. I don't remember. Did he come to practice? And then
he would still come to every practice. Like, he didn't go to the first few, but he started coming to practice to hang out, and you would hang out with John and Matt.
Yeah.
And then it was always a hangout over there anyways.
Yeah. So it ended up getting cleared up, and there wasn't, like, any bad blood. But
we had a piano player because of it who played the second guitar part, and it was interesting to be in a band with a piano. But we made some pretty cool stuff.
It sounded pretty cool.
It sounded pretty good. Like, listening to all your guys' old stuff. For what it was and how young you guys were, it all sounded really good.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Thank
you. That stuff we actually took serious, as you could tell. And then some of the improvs just kind of came together, and it was like, all right, all right. I'm glad I recorded that, so now we can try to rehearse it. And then some of them actually turned into songs. But anyway, so we got rid of Jared. We got a piano player. Sorry, Jared. But we ended up writing "Shake It Up." Anyways,
"Shake It Up." I don't know either, to be honest.
I could find the instrumental, and I played it for us, but I could not find
it. It was either called "Shake It Up" or "Shake It Up, Baby."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our friend Mary was singing, and then for some reason she couldn't do it anymore, I don't think.
I don't really remember why that band sort of fizzled out. I just think we kind of like all hit I think seniors are graduating and going off, and I think that was part of the issues.
I think we just kind of parted ways.
It was harder for you at the time to come over and drum.
I think I had probably started a new job, and I was like, sorry guys.
But we still had our solo project.
Yeah. On the times I could come over, we were in a band so it was me on the drums, Zach on the bass, and it was his cousin John on the piano.
Yeah.
And I think we had landed on a name called Origins of, because we wanted it to be like completely random, like to be like one album would be like Origins of the Unicycle or something like that. Or Origins of the Plate or something stupid. I remember we had it set up that way. But then we came up with some joke names that one of them actually stuck. I cannot say them on here though, because they are not kid friendly. If you would like to know what they are, go ahead and message me and I will let you know. But they're pretty funny, but they're pretty graphic. So
I mean, you can give them the initials. They can try to guess.
All right, so I think the first one we came up with was AD, and it's not ad, but the initials are AD. You have fun with that. Let me know. But we initially landed on RBH. Have fun with that one. It is great, but it's also. I'm just gonna leave it at that. If you want to know what it is, message me and I'll let you know. But those are pretty fun. We only did like one song, I think, in that one.
Yeah.
I almost just said it. But
in that one band that we were in one time.
In that one band we were in with that name that we were in. Yeah.
With that name that we can't say on here. No, good times though. But we ended up kind of fizzling out. That was like a band that it lasted a long time, but it was like when we did jam, it was like once every other month or something like that.
It was very like creative music, and it was definitely for fun. But if we did make anything that we thought was seriously cool, we would record it.
Yep. And like I said before this, we spent like a good hour and 20 minutes just listening to old songs that were bringing back a lot of memories. Holy cow, I'll tell you what. It got to the point where we're like telling stories. I'm like, wait, no, we're going to wait for the podcast. But.
Oh, goodness.
Well, there was one other band that you were in with me, but it was way later on down the road.
Twisted Theory.
Yeah, Twisted Theory. So, we talked a little bit about it when I went on Woody's podcast had talked about being in a band called Twisted Theory, and the co-host on that show, Mark, was our bass player, but he was the bass player for like the good, was it better part of a year or two?
Probably, I think he was there longer than I was.
Yeah, he was. You were only there for a few months, or were you there for about a year?
Probably for about a year.
Okay.
I would assume.
Yeah, because we played a few
close
shows.
to it.
So, I don't remember why Mark wasn't in the band anymore. But anyway, Zach wanted or was missing bass, and I think Jared messaged you.
It's always Jared, and right before this band even, for a small amount of time I was in a band with Jared, and of course it was Jared again who reached out. It was like, hey, I'm looking for a bass player. And it was the same thing with Twisted Theory. Hey, I'm looking for a bass player, and then I was able to learn the 20 songs I needed to play with you guys in time. And I had 1 week to learn 20 songs. I remember that being really hard, but
you stepped it up, man, and you did it, and it actually sounded dope. You messed up here and there, but it wasn't big, super crazy mess ups that everyone's like, oh, what the heck?
Yeah,
it's just a punk wrong note real quick, and then back into the right thing. I was like, oh, okay.
I found the songs that I struggled on, and I think it's because a lot of the songs were picked when I wasn't in the band, were the songs that I wasn't as into. So I just it was
I feel that
practicing them was a little bit harder, even, you know what I mean?
It's because you gotta force yourself to do it.
Yeah, it's almost like work.
But you definitely exactly. You definitely want to play songs that other people want to play too in a cover band, though. You know what I mean? You want to be equal and things like that. I don't know. You've been in a few, so you might know too.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of bands. I was actually in that time period. I was in 3 different bands. I was in.
Oh, so you're still
I was in Suit with Zach and Cody.
Yeah.
We jammed at my brother's house, and then I was in Safe to Say with Josh and Gavin and them.
That's right, because we played with you guys.
Yeah. So not the Safe to Say that I was in with him. I ended up asking permission from him, Cody, and Jared and Isaac. Oh, hey. Welcome back.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
I ended up asking permission to use the name because I was like, I don't remember who came up with it, but I don't want to just steal it and, be like, you know what I mean? So it was cool. They let me use it, but I changed the 2 to an actual 2 just to kind of make it a little more original. And we used that in a different band. It was a cover band, but I was in that band jamming. I was in Twisted Theory with him jamming, and then I was in Suit with Zach and Cody jamming, and all my time was spent.
The Head Pea Mushroom Head show that we played in Twisted Theory. That was
dope.
So that was probably my favorite show.
Yeah.
That we played together.
That place was packed.
I liked playing at the station though as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We played. Where did we play? We played all over the place.
Played at Schmangy's a lot.
We packed the place at Schmangy's. Capacity. They were turning people away. That was such a fun show. I have all kinds of pictures. I actually do have the pictures. We can look at those later. Yeah. I can send them to you.
Mary, I think, took a bunch.
Yeah, Mary had a bunch. I think I was dating Micah at the time, and she was taking videos after videos after videos on my iPod Touch. 4th gen.
4th gen.
Back in the day, I actually had a 4th gen.
They're pretty dope. Me, Zach, and Cody got our 4th gens at the same time, so we would FaceTime all the time. It was cool.
Except I had my 4th gen when I think 7th gen was out, but oh well.
Yeah.
It was still cool. I could still use it for fun stuff, so whatever.
Yeah. I got mine for Christmas, I think. It was shortly after they came out. It was something that I had asked my dad for. Shout out to my dad. Yo. Thank you for that.
Shout out James' dad.
Yeah. But it was something I had asked for, and I didn't think I was going to get it. But the way he gave it to me, he had it in the back room. And he's like, what do you want for Christmas, kid? Then I was like, Barbies and candy. Just joking. Dude goes out and gets me actual Barbies and candy, so I'm opening up Christmas presents that are Barbies and stuff, and I'm like, sweet, but One of them had stickers that came with it, and I was like putting like the tattoos on them and stuff, and not very appropriate places. So it was a mistake to get me those. Haha, jokes on Barbies. You. Yeah, but I thought that was it, and I was like, I mean, I asked for that, whatever. And then, like at the end of the day, they had the iPod Touch for me in the back room, and they brought it out to me.
Did you see the Barbie movie?
I did not.
It surprises me.
I know, but boycotting it.
My wife made me watch it.
All right, that's understandable.
It was all right.
Yeah. You think Ken's hot, don't you? He's so hot.
You know,
he's not saying no.
Neither.
Who was it? Who plays him? Was it Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I don't know. You seem to know an awful lot about this movie.
I haven't seen it. I promise. But I do see it advertised everywhere, so makes sense.
You know, playing at or practicing. We're talking about practice spaces.
Yeah.
Practicing at Jared's dad's house too, at his old place there. Though we had some really good times there too.
Yeah. Do you remember? Wait, were you there? I don't think you were in the band for the flood.
Nope. That was. I think it was right before.
Yeah, right before, because that almost broke us up, because we had to like wait weeks for our stuff to dry out.
I just remember Ryan and I like lifting my big heavy amp stack up those stairs to go to shows.
Oh yeah.
Like one time it just me and Ryan. It just happened to be the way like things laid out. Like you guys just couldn't be there, so Ryan and I were like, all right.
Oh yeah, okay. I do remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you guys want to hear the flood story? It's very traumatizing. So, I used to sleep over at Jared's house, or Jared's dad's house a lot with him, so that way, you know, I don't know if I had a car at this point. I might have. But I was poor, so I didn't have gas to drive anywhere. And I was trying to be there for practices, so I would just crash at his house.
But I was poor. So it doesn't matter.
It's true, though. So one day we're sleeping up in his room. I'm on the floor, obviously. I'm not in his bed. Calm down. That's weird.
Not watching Barbie.
Yeah, we weren't watching Barbies. Shh, don't tell him, Jared. Don't tell him. So anyway, we're passed out. And then his dad... bang, bang, bang on the door at like, 5 or 6 in the morning. And he's like, boys, get your ass up. We got a flood we got to deal with. And Jared and I are like... look at each other like, oh no, jump up, run downstairs. There's like knee-deep water in the basement, and it's the middle of winter, so it was freezing. But we didn't think about that. We just instantly jumped into the water, and mistake. I jumped right back. I was like, oh, that was cold. And we ended up taping like trash bags to our legs, and it was still really cold, but it wasn't wet at least.
Yeah.
And... I have pictures of it somewhere. I don't know if I'll be able to.
Ugh.
I might be able to post them.
I remember seeing some of the pictures.
That hurts me hearing that story. That's
dude.
A very
there was
sad story.
amps and drums floating, and there was some stuff that was heavy, like some amps and pedals that were heavy that the water obviously couldn't make float. So we had to like dig around for them.
That's rough.
It was not fun.
Doesn't sound it.
The whole band ended up showing up, and. The whole band for Stronghold. Shout out to when they were a thing. We were practicing in the same basement as Stronghold, so all the guys from them were there. It was a crazy day. We had to wait like forever. There was tarps and music equipment all through the kitchen, all through the living room, all through the porch, all through his dad's office.
What a nightmare. I couldn't imagine.
And everything was just sopping wet. And there was like big fans blowing in every which way, so it was just freezing in there. And
well, I got my first acoustic in a similar fashion, I guess, and you're part of that story.
Yeah.
When the garage fell.
Oh my goodness! Oh man, your dad's garage?
Yeah.
So, thank the Lord, nobody was up there. I mean, it fell at like what, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah, because we were all like just settling down for bed. I think it was the middle of the winter. It was a snowstorm.
Yeah,
And
we had a really big noise in the middle of the night.
So his dad's drum set was up there, and
A bunch of music equipment
was up there, and rest in peace to that red drum set. I played a lot on that thing. We're all getting ready to go to bed. I remember me and his sister were just put a movie on. We're laying in bed, and then all of a sudden, boom! Like the whole house shook, and everyone's like, we all jump up and run out. We all like meet in the hallway. We're like, what the heck just happened? And then, of course, everyone's like, Jason, go check it out.
Go run outside.
So I was like, yeah, let's go. I'll beat up anything. I don't know why I thought that, but, being a young teenager, I think I was like 17.
18.
Or 18, something like that. So I was a little bit older. And I ran outside, and at first you couldn't tell. You couldn't see anything. So I'm like, I'm at the road thinking that there was an accident or like something like a meteor hit the ground or something. You know what I mean? So I'm out there looking in the road, and I don't see anything. And everyone's standing up on the front porch. As I'm walking back up, I'm like, I don't see anything. And they were like, what? And I'm like, the garage collapsed.
He's like, the garage roof collapsed. And no one believed him. We're like, no, it didn't. Because he's always joking.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, seriously, look. Go look.
No, it didn't. Stop it, Jason. Like my mom, I can hear her. Stop it, Jason. That didn't happen. Or something.
Yeah.
And they go outside, and sure enough, the next day, like, everyone was over there with, like, chainsaws and stuff up on the roof trying to cut it all off. But... Long story short, the insurance money bought us new musical equipment, and through that, my dad bought me my first acoustic guitar, which got me into music.
Yeah, and I just ended up bringing over my drum set, and I just left it there. My silver Pulse kit, the one that Cody Anderson bought for me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but that was before Suit. We were still a band, but we just didn't have a practice place. And Zach and Cody were busy doing something, so we didn't jam. So I just ended up bringing my drums over to Zach's house, and we just jammed there. I remember helping your dad rebuild the roof to that. Well, not like the inside, but like setting the walls and the actual roof structure.
I don't remember a lot of that piece of it, but
you were in school, and this is after I graduated.
I think it's because I was so young.
Yeah, you were also in school.
Yeah.
So when you were in school, I'd be at your dad's.
But I know, like, all of you guys went over.
Yeah.
Like, you went up on the roof. My dad was on the roof. I think Wanda's husband came over, and Don was still alive at the time.
Yeah, that's
remember
right.
Don?
Yeah, I do remember Don.
Yeah, I used to be able to do backflips and all that stuff. Then you got old.
Yeah, I got old, and now I just work too much, and now if I try to do a backflip, I'd probably hurt myself. Good times. I basically lived at Zach's house for like 4 years.
Basically.
Yep.
Tasha lived there. Well, I would say that Candace lived there for a few weeks. A year, at least, growing up. Tasha lived there for at least a summer. And you lived there for at least a year, if not more.
I lived there for about 3 years, and then, well, it was like off and on for about 3 years, and then me and Kate moved to Bangor.
Tasha lives in Bangor too.
Does she now?
Yeah.
Huh? I've never.
It's just the place to go for everyone but you.
I loved it there, but then I really started to hate it there because all my friends lived in like Turner, Leeds, and Greene, and Lewiston, and Auburn, and Portland.
I always thought I would have trouble moving. Like, I'd want to at least move down with like somewhere with some friends, I guess, to know some people.
Well, I mean,
easier. The transition would be easier.
I wasn't supposed to move with your sister, but I ended up getting talked into it, and I did.
Right.
Yeah, and it was cool at first.
I'm just saying in general, even like for Emily and I to move somewhere now, like, be easier if our best friends came with us or something. You know?
Yeah, or if you at least knew somebody there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the hardest part. I ended up making some awesome friends, but I'm not going to go into that detail, actually. So, some things happened, and we don't need to go into that detail. It was,
But Barbies.
but Barbies and candy. No.
But Barbies.
No, it was a good time growing up with you and learning music together and being in a bunch of bands. And do you remember the sandwiches that Isaac's mom made?
I don't.
So, we were jamming at Isaac's mom's.
No, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So, she made grilled cheeses, like a plate of them. And they're all cut in half. And there was one left, right?
Yeah.
And Jared's talking.
And he eats it.
And he grabs it while he's talking, and he's eating it while he's talking. And then he's still talking, and then he goes to grab it, and he's like, "Hey, who ate the last?" And we're all like, "Are you serious?" And it was just super funny. And he tried to play it off like he knew it, but he didn't know it.
We're not body shaming you, Jared.
Yeah, we're not body shaming you. We love you. It was just a funny thing that happened. If you were there, you would have laughed. It was very hilarious, and it was all in good fun. We'll just say that. But
What's your favorite memory with Isaac?
Probably writing the acoustic song that we wrote.
Oh, yeah.
When most of the band couldn't show up, it would just be me and him chilling. We wrote Watching.
Isaac and I wrote a pretty cool song with Dylan Goslin. I don't remember, like,
Oh, yeah.
how much, like, effort was put in by each person.
He lived in my building at one point when I lived on 89
Dylan?
Webster Street.
I run
yeah.
into him from time to time. It's always nice to see him.
Yeah, he's cool.
Shout
Shout out to Dylan if you see this.
Anyways, but the three of us wrote a song for Madison, who passed away in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a pretty neat song
What was the name of that?
with obviously some good meaning behind it. I don't know. I feel like I had the least amount of I did the least amount of work on it. I was just a second guitar to hear.
Yep.
But I always liked the chord progression that Isaac had picked for it, and Dylan and Isaac did a really good job on the words.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever heard it. I feel like
Maybe not.
Maybe
I don't
did,
really
but-
think we were jamming back at that point,
No, I don't think we were either.
or at least not very often.
I believe you, though. I believe you.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it, but I don't think I ever heard it. But, yeah.
No,
It's
that
always-
was a good one.
It's always good when like, meaningful stuff like that happens.
The funny memories I have with him could go on forever, but maybe not on here.
So, yeah. So we'll leave some of that off of here. But there's a lot that... Like, we had so many days where we just goofed off and, like, took pictures, like, band pictures, and just chilled.
Oh, just
Because
funny
we would do,
stuff.
like, band bonding.
I was just gonna say those days are important though.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why you don't miss band bonding practice.
Exactly. That's why we don't miss podcast practice. But good times, though. Fun times. I would say childhood, but teenhood very much fulfilled.
Yep.
Even though we just kind of stayed in one area the whole time, but
I think though, like, that was for the best. I think by my
Definitely.
parents opening up their home and letting us use the band room, like, it kept us all out of trouble, because we wouldn't have had that. Like, we definitely would have been in a lot of trouble.
yeah. Well, your dad would always come through, and every practice he'd just like surprise us with like, I almost said Little Joe's, with Little
Little
Caesars, with Little Caesars and stuff, and
Every practice,
pretty
we'd
dope.
get 2 large pizzas and a 2-liter of soda.
yeah.
And then
Good times. Do you remember-
any unscheduled practices were fend for yourself?
Do you remember this story? Okay, you and Isaac wrapped me in not bubble wrap, but saran wrap,
Yeah.
and I had to, and I don't remember.
There's a picture somewhere.
Yeah, and I was basically like stuck like that for a while until I was like, all right, guys, help me. I ended up.
Have I seen this picture? This sounds familiar.
We wanted him to try to break out of it, like the Hulk.
Eventually, I did, but it took a long time.
Yeah.
I had to stretch it out a whole bunch. But go ahead and try to break out a saran wrap that's been wrapped around you like 80 times. Not really that much, but probably like good 30 times.
We will demonstrate by wrapping Brandon in saran wrap.
Do you have saran wrap?
Do you?
So,
I don't.
Fun
I
fact:
don't.
my friend duct taped me to a computer chair in. Well, I think I was in 5th grade.
Why am I not surprised? Did you
And
get out?
then I'm not. There's no BS or nothing. Fire alarm went off. We were having a fire drill, and I was duct taped to a computer chair.
They're wheeling you out. Go.
My friend and the teacher. I think I
He's
had
like,
I had
"Guys."
a free period. Yeah, come on, guys, help!
Help.
No, I think I had a free period. It was just me and my buddy and the teacher in the room, and they're all like ripping the tape off me so we can get out of the building.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, but
One time, me and Zach Anderson saran wrapped our friend Jeremy's car shut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
We in college. In college, we had
Your mom went to college.
the foreign exchange student was really tiny, so we and the foreign exchange student was fine with this. It wasn't hazing or anything bad. We picked them up. And we held them to the top of like a bunk bed while this person was sleeping. And we wrapped them up so tight that they couldn't move, so that when this person like woke up, they like freaked out because they saw this Asian kid staring down at them. Oh, so funny. We should do stuff like that all the time.
Oh yeah, gotta love that stuff. On days that you guys were busy, like sometimes Jared and Cody Barrett would come over and hang out at my house.
Yep.
And we'd play like video games and stuff. And I remember one time, kind of gross, but it's funny to me, Jared and Cody. So, we're poor again.
We're poor.
That's how we were when we were kids. But I lived right next to Food City down in Turner. We had like a couple bucks to our names, and we were all hungry. And it was during the day. My parents were working, so. And
you went dumpster diving, didn't you?
Yeah, no.
That's what it sounds like.
No. We ended up getting a case of ramen.
Oh, yeah?
And we cooked the whole case in like the biggest pot that I had. And
less gross than dumpster diving.
And our diabetic friend Cody.
Do what you gotta do, but
yeah. Cody Barrett, he's extremely diabetic. He proceeds to eat like 3 helpings and then down a 2-liter of Pepsi, and we're all chilling. I don't remember what we were doing. We were playing video games, I'm pretty sure. And then Cody just gets up and runs to the bathroom, and you can hear him obviously puking. And we're like, "Oh no!" Jared and I are like, "Oh no!" The day just ended. Cody's gonna have to go home somehow. Darn! And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear, "It's still fizzy," and Jared and I just die laughing, and then Cody's like, "Stop, I'm trying not to laugh." And then he came back out, and he was actually good to go, which was cool.
One time we're driving to band practice, safe to say days, and you are in the driver's seat. We're driving one of your crappy old green cars.
Oh, I remember this. My Altima.
Cody is in the passenger seat.
This was the blue car.
He's tall.
The blue
and
car.
Me and Jared and Isaac, who were pretty big boys at the time, are all crammed in the back seat. And we're egging Jason on to go faster and faster. And we shouldn't obviously have done that, but we did.
And I was.
And then he got up to like around 100. And then all of a sudden we hear pop, and the catalytic converter just...
Well, this is what happened. We were coming down
the road.
that Churchill Road.
We were on the flats.
No, this was
Shrubs.
before. That was the second time it fell off. We had it. Remember, we had it hooked with coat hangers and stuff, and then it popped off again. The first time,
what? You're right.
The first time we were coming down Churchill, and I was doing like 80, and then when we got to the bottom, the car just went on the ground, and then the catalytic converter and the whole muffler pops off. And then what does Cody do? He hops out and runs over, and before I could say anything, he picks up the the whole catalytic converter and It throws it.
I don't remember that, but it sounds about right.
Yeah.
And then we did a good drift into Isaac's driveway, and then started band practice.
Yep. That was a good fun night. I love that. The time you were talking about was the same situation, but we had, I'm pretty sure me and Cody, before band practice, had like took a bunch of metal coat hangers and like basically rigged up my whole muffler system. Even though it didn't work, but we still were like, oh, we're 15 and don't know what we're doing. Anyways, I had picked them all up, and we were on the Turner Flats, and I was doing around 100, and again, pop, the whole car's like, boom, boom, and then you just see the thing tumbling, and I think I left it at that point. I was like, no, we're going. The car's like super loud.
Yeah. I've experienced air a few times with you driving in a car.
Yep.
Over the years of my life.
I was a pretty insane driver back then, I won't lie. I used to see how fast I could get home from his house.
What's the record?
So, GPS says it's about a 20-minute drive. I'd get home in under 10 minutes.
All right, not bad. You're not bad.
I remember I remember I timed it at one point. It was like 9 minutes and 4 seconds.
When he was learning how to drive a stick, though, your mom didn't want you to touch the car. I wonder why.
Yeah. She ended up having to, though, because I had to use it to get to work. And I taught myself how to drive a standard in her car.
Joke's on her, huh?
Yeah. Thank you, Mom. Sorry, I might have beat your car a little bit, but, you know, we all do that. You did it, too, so don't even. Good times, though. I can't believe Oh. So that car?
The green one?
No, it was the blue Altima. I had the green Grand Am that I bought from a place that I shall not name. That is no longer a thing.
Fair enough. Is the blue one the one that was sold and like broke down 2 seconds after it was sold?
So this is what happened. I don't remember what was wrong with it, but somebody who had explained what was wrong with it had said you can get away with driving it, but you can't rev it a lot or something. I could be wrong. I don't remember that. I just remember I had it for sale for $400. And someone came and bought it, and I told them not to rev it. I told them exactly what was wrong with it, and I said, you can limp it home from here, but you need to get it looked at and get it fixed. And the person was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. I go out because I'm inside with Cody Anderson. He's typing up a bill of sale. And we end up doing that, and while he's doing that, I hear the person buying it outside revving the hell out of the thing. Like redlining it, and I ran out there. I'm like, no, stop, don't do that. I already told you can't do that. And the guy's like, what? I thought you could blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I told you what was wrong with it. Don't do that. And then he ended up was like being like, oh, okay, whatever, my bad, And then we went ahead and like completed the sale. They drove off, and like an hour later, Cody and I are sitting in my house, like playing on the computer, and there's a knock at the door. And luckily, all the lights were off besides the computer, and it was like maybe 6 or 7 at this point, like during the summer, so it was just starting to get dark.
What were you guys playing? Like Hello Kitty Adventure?
Yeah, that's exactly what we were playing. How'd you know?
I just figured.
This guy over here, he always knows. I don't remember what we were playing. We were messing around with some kind of physics engine.
Typical thing to do.
Typical thing to do.
You know.
Cody knows what I'm talking about. Or we were playing Jedi Outcast. Because we used to play with our buddy Heath online back when like dial-up was a thing. But anyway,
Mom, get off the phone.
Yeah, we're chilling, playing on the computer, doing whatever, and then I hear a knock at the door, and I'm like, what the heck? Who'd be knocking? Okay, whatever. So I look out the window, and it's the people that just bought my car. Cody and I were like, don't answer the door. because I won't lie, they looked pretty mad, and it wasn't like normal knocks. It was like boom, 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 boom. So me and Cody snuck out the back door, ran out into the woods, and there was like a big sand pit beside my house with like a long dirt road and like a random half-built wall thing. Looked like somebody was like in the middle of building a foundation and they just like quit halfway through. So there's just like this big cement wall and then a bunch of sand pits out in the back. We walked through there, came around down to the wall, and we're like watching from like now where like basically we can see the front of my house because we had walked all the way around, and we could see the front of the house, and they're still banging on the door. They're sitting. The guy would walk down and he would sit and like look around like he was trying to, like they probably heard us sneak out or something, and then he would go back up to the door, knock again, and then I don't remember, he was yelling something, but I don't remember what he was yelling. And I just guessed that the car broke down on him, which it probably did. I told him it would if he beat on it. And anyway, so they finally leave, and then Cody and I like sneak back to the house to make sure they're not like down the road watching, you know what I mean? And we go back in the house, and like probably a half hour later my mom shows up. And I told her what happened, and she's like, she was all mad because she thought that she was going to have people after her now because of, she thought I had done like a crappy thing. But it was like all in.
Another reason you can't use her car.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so they show back up when my mom's there, and they pound on the door, and my mom goes out and talks to them, and they're obviously wanting their money back. And my mom's like, all right, well then give us back the car. Oh, the car broke down in the Kmart parking lot like 20 minutes away. And we're like, cool, get it towed back to us and then we'll give you the money. And they wouldn't. So I ended up giving them back half the money. Just because I was like, I told you, like, I can't give you back all, and plus I had already spent some of it, so. I at least gave them back half the money, and they were cool with that. They left. Of course, they left the car abandoned in the Kmart parking lot, so I eventually had to pay for a tow and all that stuff to get it out of there, which was cool. Not really, but I ended up just junking that for like $100. So
that's what I did with my technical first car.
The Ford?
No, so me and my buddy had gone halves on. It was like that's $600 Saab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We got it back to my place in Bodenham, where I lived at the time, and I drove it once. It never ran again. And I ended up junking it for $100.
Dang.
First car wouldn't die. My dad bought that blue car.
Oh,
the Chevy Cavalier.
Yeah.
And then he said, if
So
this car dies, I'll help you buy a new car. So I beat the crap out of it.
We all beat the crap out of that thing.
And it wouldn't die. And then when I was in college, like,
that's Cavaliers for you, though.
The frame finally like rusted out. But it was, I had that car for years.
I wanted to drive in my mom's gold Cavalier. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked my Cavalier.
I had a Cavalier that was like 8 different shades of white. Cody and I talked about it in, what was it, episode 3?
Oh yeah, with the three you guys.
Yeah,
or the 4 of you guys, but the 3 guests.
Yes, exactly.
Because I wasn't there.
Yep.
The Cavalier's been discontinued since then.
Yeah,
it was
actually.
the Cobalt.
I was just gonna say,
Yep.
And then the Cruise, I think.
I think so.
replaced it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah, no, I had bought in mine for like $200, and that's about all I put.
Was that your
into
first
it.
car?
It was technically my first car. Yeah.
What was it?
It was a Cavalier. It was a '93.
Oh, so you also had a Cavalier for your first car,
Yep.
and then you had the Saab.
No, I never think of my Saab as my first car. I mean, I drove it once, and it sat in my parking space at my apartment complex for a month.
Yeah.
Before my landlord was like, "You got to get it out of here." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I mean, I
Please.
can't move it, so I guess I'll get it towed to a junkyard."
Yeah.
So, but no, I call my first car my purple Ford that I had.
I had to push this one a few times.
Yep. It was a good car though while it lasted. It lasted me a few years, but yes, no. famous. What was it? Was it Thanksgiving or soon after?
It was Thanksgiving because I had just gotten home and
My-
I was full.
Yep. And we were gonna go to the store for something, to the gas station, and
His car just decided to die.
we were just setting off. We were making a loop around a couple back roads to get onto the main road, and it died on the turn to the main road to our house, or our apartment at the time. And yeah, he pushed it a little bit and it died on the side of the road.
Yep. I remember you being like, holy crap, I didn't think you'd be able to push this thing that easily. I pushed it for like a good half a mile, dude, because it was...
Yeah, because we...
And then it was like uphill, and I'm like, all right, I can't push it no more. I ended up making myself sick. I ended up throwing up. Did I throw up right there, or did I walk back and throw up?
I think you got home.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we were right next to the house anyway.
Yeah. I just remember being, like, I exerted way too much energy, and my stomach was way too full. But when I was done, I came out, and I was like, all right, I could eat more.
I remember the tow guy that came to tow it was so confused about where I wanted it. I was like, you see that corner right there? It's literally going like 200 feet down the road. He was so confused, couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to walk. Just follow me. So I walked to where, because we used to park it across the street away from the house, remember?
Yeah.
So, and he dropped it right there. And
it sat there for a little while.
Yep.
Probably a good couple months until I think your parents ended up getting it towed away or something.
No.
Or they tried to fix it.
So there was a time that my power steering went.
Oh,
and my dad took it.
I was thinking of that.
But no, that time when it died, it ran out of gas. I remember Kayla brought me to the gas station. I got a gallon of gas, put it in, and it fired right up.
Oh, okay. I just remember it being... Did you trade it in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
I traded that in for when I had got my Hyundai.
Yeah, I was bombing around in the
ripped to that car.
Ford Focus.
Yeah, you're a little Ford Focus.
The Ford Focus that I sold 3 times, and it just kept coming back to me. I'm like, what? I can't get rid of this thing.
Meant to be.
Legit. I don't remember. I ended up selling it one more time, and somebody left it abandoned somewhere, which was cool. And it was last registered to me. Somehow someone drove it for like 2 years without registering it. And they left it abandoned somewhere, and then
somebody's watching over them.
Yeah, definitely, and me, because it was like a $1,700 charge in their lot, and then in the note that I got, it said, due to us not reporting it within a certain amount of days, it becomes void, so we can just keep it, or you can buy it back from us. And I was like, keep it. Sent it back to them. Keep it.
Have fun with it.
Yep. And
all yours.
Luckily, because they reported it too late, that I didn't have to pay the $1,700, which is cool. But yeah, people suck.
Yeah, people suck. Moral of the story: people suck.
People suck. And yeah, I felt really bad for selling that car to those people and it broke down like on the way home for them. I felt really bad for that. So I feel like part of my karma has been just having crappy vehicles.
You've always had a crappy vehicle as long as I've ever known you.
But yeah, and I've always had umpteen dozen problems with it right after another. So,
I liked your Jetta.
That was my funnest car. I beat the heck out of that thing.
We took that
red
to the
one?
beach and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. That was my favorite car. I taught myself the rest of the way how to drive a standard in that. I had kind of learned the concept in my mom's G5, but she eventually didn't want me driving it anymore because I wasn't good. And the clutch system in that is like way more touchy than it was in the Jetta.
Oh, yeah.
The Jetta, I could like basically burn the clutch out and it would still go. But I remember... Oh, actually, no.
What?
When I had bought the Jetta...
You were living with Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to drive a standard yet.
Was Josh teaching you or something?
No, I had taught myself. So I don't know what I was thinking. My cousin's husband now, but at the time was her boyfriend, Jeremy. he was selling a Jetta that he had kind of rebuilt, and I happened to pass by it, and I stopped in, and I was like, well, I had my mom drop me off there at one point, and I was like, I got the money and everything. I'd like to drive this home. And he's like, all right, cool. You know how to drive a Standard? And I was like, I'm gonna learn right now. You're gonna teach me. And he's like, I'll give you a 30-second rundown, and then you're on your own. And I'm like, all right. He's like, the concept is really easy. He walked me through it a couple times. And I was like, all right. So I went to go. I stalled it 3 times at first. You know, as everyone does. And then I finally got it going. You know, doing the thing. Shifted into second, and then actually got going on the road. And, you know, I think I got to Food City right next to my house before it stalled again, and I just like put it in neutral and just rolled it into the parking lot, and then I kind of practiced in there for a little bit because I had to get up a long driveway. That was
getting up that hill.
So I needed to be able to go and not stall it. It's on Route 4, so if I stall, I'm getting creamed by a bunch of vehicles. So I made sure I could do that, and basically spent like a half an hour just stopping, and starting, and stopping, and starting, and stopping, and then finally I just made it right up the driveway. I was so proud of myself. But then we all went to beat the crap out of that car.
It was a fun car.
It was my longest lasting car.
I had a unique experience when it came to learning to drive a Standard. I learned on a 1972 dump truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I remember this.
It was when I was at college and I was doing my maintenance internship.
You told me.
We had a lot of weird vehicles, but that was one of them. So I learned how to do it on that, and I thought that for whatever reason, it was a 5-speed, was easier than when I hopped into a car the first time. It's like, oh, I can drive a Standard. Like, I'm not worried about it. I was like home from a break, going on a date with Emily and taking her little sister and her boyfriend out somewhere, and I'm like, stall. And then I had to switch cars with her dad, and her dad's like, hey, Zach, look. And he puts it in reverse, smoothly goes back. Then he smoothly goes forward. He's just teasing me. But I went back to college and practiced on a Toyota Corolla. That was a Standard, because I was like, I can't have that happen again.
Yeah, I need to.
I was gotta look good in front of my girl.
Yeah, for real.
And he took the time to teach me on that, and that was really helpful.
That's awesome.
But I really haven't been in one since, so I always wonder how I'll do. But I did well back then.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm glad you were able to learn on a dump truck.
Yeah, I learned on a dump truck.
And then stall on a car like
the dump truck was really easy. But
the clutch system was probably different. It probably had more.
Throws you a lot more when you're doing the.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Some like my mom's G5 is very touchy. Like if you missed it, you're. And if you got it, it's like oh. But yeah, fun times. Do you remember? We were all driving somewhere, and I was driving your mom's Prius. And she didn't want me driving over the speed limit. Do you remember this?
Which thousands of a time?
Oh yeah, this happened a bunch. But this time I slammed the brakes on in the middle of the road. I was like, "Fine, you drive." Do you remember that?
Not specifically, because
No.
I remember that happening like more than once.
I just remember specifically this one time. Which we were cool after. I ended up apologizing to her and stuff, but I slammed the brakes on in that thing. And
there's one I remember when we were on the way to Wanda's for just a holiday meal, and you and my mom were fighting, and you had enough of her freaking out because she was like, oh, she is, and you slammed on the brakes, and you're like, I'm not driving. Kate drove, and then there was another time I think coming. Maybe we didn't stop. I'm just thinking of the time we came home from York Beach and it was raining like crazy. Do you remember that? Yeah. It's the most I've ever seen it rain to this day, I feel like.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I had to drive and we were doing 15.
But at first, I think why I remember that is at first you guys were arguing but then once we were actually on the highway, we were like, "Oh, thank goodness that Jason's driving right now because it's really bad." There was zero visibility.
No, I'm just kidding. It's been a long time. I did used to fight with your mom a lot, though. Good times. Yeah, driving that Prius.
It lasted a long time.
It did.
I had it for many years after the fact.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And then we gave it to someone else who had it longer. And then had a similar situation. She got rid of it. And then, like, it became abandoned. And then somehow my parents got a phone call about it one day. And that other girl's gotten upsetting phone calls about it. but they didn't want the abandoned Prius either.
Yeah. Makes sense, though. Good times, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, dude.
Yeah.
It's good having you.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Talking about old times, bringing up old memories. I'm glad we got to sit down and actually, like, go through the old music and pictures.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun to see those memories. So I mean, I'm sure it might be obvious because I haven't really talked much this episode, but I did not grow up with these guys. Sadly, I wish I did. It would have been a lot of fun, all of us growing up. But
Brandon just kind of showed up on my couch one day.
I did. That's quite literally I did.
And I kept him.
I was a rescue.
Yeah, he was a rescue. I just remember. Okay, so I lived in like a 5-bedroom apartment that
he was hanging out outside your window one
yeah,
night.
yeah, and I was like, just come on in. No.
So you started feeding it.
Got that hand on the window.
Yeah.
Thought he might be thirsty.
Yeah. So I inherited an apartment because one of my really good friends / ex-roommate passed away. And very hard situation, but I got a 5-bedroom apartment out of it, and I got our debt cleared, which was cool. The landlord, his name was Roger. Nick and I had kind of owed him a few months' rent, and Nick passed away, and obviously he saw that was very traumatic, and he was like, all right, well, Nick was the leaseholder, so now I have to break lease, and I have to make a new lease for you. And I was like, all right. And he's like, well, since Nick passed away, I'm not going to make you pay his debt, so we'll start fresh. He even lowered rent and stuff, which was cool. I was like, all right, cool. I mean, it still sucked, but I ended up living there with Jared. At first, it was just him and I. Our friend Mandy moved in, and that was her and her dog Marvel. And then CJ and Zoe moved in.
And that's where I came from.
Yeah, so...
Well, not came from, but...
Oh, they're your parents?
CJ's your dad?
I was...
I've met him.
I was helping CJ move in. I was helping CJ move in because I had a car, so I was able to make an extra trip with them. And
then you stayed, and you would hang out in his room at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't have room for you to sleep there, so...
I crashed on the couch.
You just crash on the couch, and... I would get up. I worked a medical couriering job, so I was up at like 3:45 in the morning every morning. So I'd wake up and I'd see him sleeping on the couch every morning. And I mean, I didn't care, obviously, at first, but eventually I was like, I sat him down and I was like, so I see that you're kind of living here now. I was like, do you want to rent my couch? For, what was it, like $50 a month or something like that?
Yeah, I did. There was a couple months I paid you $50. I bought my own food.
Yeah, that was cool. So we had...
And I, at the time, a little backstory to that, I had just gone through a breakup, and I had a kid, and I don't know where I'm going with that.
You just went through a breakup,
Yep.
and you were recovering at my house, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, are you lost?
I
was like, you want a treat? Do you Good boy. Good boy.
Good boy. Get on the couch. Get on the couch.
Get on the couch. Yeah.
Stay.
Jay's like, I will save you.
And I'm like, is he potty trained? Okay, cool. But
no, grateful to your hospitality, and
got you, bro.
Made a dope friend out of it, and here we are.
Yeah,
here we are. What, 5 years later?
5 years later. Yeah. Yeah, it was 2019 actually. Yeah. So yeah, about 5 years.
I think it was springtime 2019.
Yep. Yeah. and I kept him. I was like, as long as you pay rent, you can stay here. And then you did. And then...
What if he stops paying rent?
Then he doesn't live here. Shoot. No.
What if he just like misses like a month?
Then I got him. He pays me back.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to pay you back.
Then...
But I will.
Then...
I mean, but he will, but he won't.
Then it's over, and I put his stuff outside, and he doesn't come back. Okay.
Joke's on you. I'll set my stuff up outside.
By yourself?
Yeah.
You want help?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Thanks.
I got you. It's settled then. So we'll be taking over your room as the podcast room now.
I mean, that would be cool. It'd be cool to have a room for it. I mean, we do,
be.
but to have a dedicated room.
But it's
for it.
literally my bedroom.
Yeah.
Well,
Sneak peek. It's literally my bedroom.
you guys could always get rid of all this bedroom stuff, and then you'd have a better room for your podcast.
Well, where am I going to put all my bedroom stuff then?
You could just sleep on the couch. Brandon had to do it for years.
I don't like that idea. Because I got to fit 2 dogs on the couch, too.
You're doing it for the cast.
Okay,
The
for the
podcast.
cast.
Do it for the cast. I was
Do it
like,
for the
wait,
pod.
cast?
Cast.
Oh.
Yeah.
You want to sign my cast?
Sound chowder.
Yeah.
Heart.
Hearts.
Just a little bit of sound chowder.
Yeah. Well, do you wanna shout out some bands, bro?
We'll talk about some bands. I'm down. We got a
Down with
few to talk about. Couple of shows coming up next weekend. Look at that guy. What a guy he is.
Hype.
Chris Hype. He is the lead singer of Burning Time, and he does a acoustic solo act, which he does quite often. I'll let you pick it up, bro.
And that's what he's going to be doing Thursday night on the 14th at 6 p.m. at Sliders Sports Pub and Bar, or whatever it's called. Is that the official name, or is it just Sliders Sports Pub?
We'll go with that one.
We'll go with that. Anyway, he'll be there at Sliders in the Lewiston Mall at 6 p.m. Thursday the 14th. Go check him out. Check out his live show. And also check out his website, chrishype.com.
Yep. We'll put that in the links, or in the description, so that way you can, which we still need to do with all the other videos.
Wait, we'll do it. We promise.
We're getting there. But yeah, go give him a check out. He's pretty dope. He's very good, very talented.
Extremely good musician.
Yeah, definitely. As you can tell from Burning Time too. But I think he does this as like a full-time job. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he does it. But yeah, Sliders is in Lewiston, November 14th. That is, what is that? Is that a Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
That's a Thursday.
It says it right there.
It does say it right there. It would help if I looked at the right thing. You get it. You guys know.
Oh, and it's Sliders Sports Pub. I see right under it.
Yeah, it says it right there. Sports Pub. But yeah, check that out on the 14th.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Is there a cover? I don't think there's a cover.
No, I don't think so. Yes, the Trans Am show, which these guys are new for us. We checked them out, a few videos on their page earlier on this afternoon, and they sound like a really good. They're a cover band. They play 70s, 80s, and 90s music.
Yep.
And a couple videos I checked out, they sounded good, sounded tight. So Friday the 15th at Mixers in Sabattis at 8:30. Go check them out. Go listen to some of your old favorites from back in the day that they'll play for you.
Yep. Does it say there's a cover or no?
No cover. It does not say. So I just assume not.
Yeah. I imagine it's a free show, but they sound pretty good. Go check them out. That's the 15th of November. Like they said, like Brandon said, they're new to us, so we don't know much about them. We did check out some videos, and they sound pretty dope. So go like their page, go follow them, give them some support like you guys do. show starts at 8:30. Make sure you're there. Seriously, go. Now. Go. On that day. We got one more for you folks. I know you guys have been dying to hear the last one.
Another new one. Well, new to us, I should say.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're new, but I'll let you go ahead and take the reins. You didn't talk much this show.
All right. You're right. I'll do the shout out. So, Stove Up rocks O'Donoghue's Pub in Brunswick, Maine. Also on Friday the 15th. It's from 7 to 11. It says the show starts at 8, so I assume the doors are at 7. Show goes from 8 to 11. It is 21 plus. So
bring an ID.
Bring an ID. No chillins.
Yeah.
No cover charge. So get in for free. Get some drinks. Support your local.
Here, Lozel.
Support your local music and
support your lowsies.
Your lowsies.
That's what we call locals.
And yeah, check out Stove Up at Donoghue's Pub. Excuse me, O'Donoghue's Pub.
Yeah, O'Donoghue's. Did I say Donoghue's?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Here I am thinking that I said it.
Oh. Donoghue's.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're in the Bath, Brunswick, or area, or even Lewiston, wherever you are, go check them out. Travel out to Brunswick.
Yeah. Go to their page, give them a checkout, give them a follow, give them a like, support them as you do all the other bands. Yes.
Because that's what we do here.
That is what we do at Sound Chowder. We feed you the scoop and we support you in the loop. I don't know.
It works.
I'm a rapper, I guess. There's your freestyle.
Yeah.
You were talking about. I do rap music on the side. I make my own beats and I do everything myself.
Could you freestyle for us right now on the spot?
I just did.
Wow, that was good.
It was.
That was amazing.
Hope you guys liked it.
Yeah, just a few, and there is there is a couple more shows next weekend, but we have already talked about them on the last couple episodes. But definitely on Saturday the 16th, go check out Loose Screws at Mixers.
Yep.
That's going to be a dope show from 8:30 to 12 a.m. I'm pretty sure they're playing the whole night. So yeah, head out to Mixers on Saturday the 16th and check out Loose Screws.
Yeah, go check those guys out.
And also, I'm pretty sure next weekend is the Toby McAllister EP show.
Yeah, actually, the 16th, right?
I don't remember exactly. I think the 16th.
I think it's the 16th.
But yeah, that's coming up next weekend too.
Yep.
So
we always want to make sure we shout out.
Don't forget about them.
Yeah, even if we had already shouted out, we're gonna still give you at least a little mention, so that way no one forgets. Not that anyone would, but yeah, Toby's been doing some big things. Check him out. Give him a follow. Give him a like.
So actually, I didn't know about Sparks until I met you. You showed me Sparks in Prospect Hill.
Yep. Those guys are dope.
I hear Prospect Hill's playing around here soon.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I believe they are, but I'm not supposed to speak on that yet. So
There now.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah. I was told not to say nothing, so sorry guys.
Spoiler alert.
When I hear more, you'll hear more. You know that.
So all the more reason to stay tuned to Sound Chowder every episode. Don't miss it.
Legit. Don't miss it. Help us out. Go give us a like and a subscribe and a follow and a heart and a share and all the things.
All the things.
All of them. Please and thank you. We love you. You know that. We love you a long time, baby. We're babies. But yeah,
that's it. Just a few shows to talk about tonight. Yep. Our main focus was thank you very much for Zach coming out, hanging out, here. Sharing stories. Absolutely, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to drive his truck when he got here. It was pretty cool.
It's true.
It is true. The little shifter thing is a knob.
It's a big truck for him.
Yeah,
it's like riding in Dad's car.
It was. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's gonna do it for today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for listening to us go back in the past and time travel and talk about us growing up and playing music and
that little segment about cars that we did, that was
Random.
I mean, hey, whatever.
it's part of the whole process.
It
so.
ties in.
You know all about driving standards now.
Exactly. So, but no, yeah. Thank you again, guys. Thank you for coming on the show, my dude. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the show, my dude. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
We just did a 3-way. Oh, that sounded weird. All right, we did a 3-way. Shake, hand. All right.
No, just
We're just gonna
I call it a Brandon way.
a brand guy way.
Yeah.
Oh.
As long as Brandon's in there, it's
yeah.
always a Brandon way.
It's always the Brandon way. All right, we'll let you guys go.
You're going to have so much footage to edit.
I already saw the thing and it was over an hour and a half, so I'm like, oh snap.
So stay tuned,
Yes.
even though you're, I don't know. I was going to be like, stay tuned for this one, but you're going to hear this after it comes out. So stay tuned for the next one.
Yes. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. Thank you guys.
We love you.
We love you a long time.
Don't make it creepy.